Welcome. I am your host, OG Baz, bringing you the debut of my Day One New York Giants fans page where I will be bringing you live reactions, news, debates, NFL talk based on the big blue. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely been a big fan. I know it's a lot of new Giant fans out here. Shout out to all the Giant content creators that's out there and channels that's doing it. I've been a Giants fan from Joe Morris, Phil McConkey, Mark Bavaro, you know what I'm saying, Mark Ingram, Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker, you know what I'm saying, like all of these guys, you know what I mean, from LT to Leonard Marshall, Pepper Johnson, Carlson, you know what I'm saying, like and it goes and it goes and it goes, you know what I'm saying, Landana, you know what I'm saying, like, so I've been around, you know what I'm saying, it's hard for me to miss a Giants game. And it's hard for me. Even if I had to work, I'm watching it from my phone or something. So I know everything that's going on with me when we on the field and stuff like that. I'm looking forward to a big turnaround year. You know what I mean? But right, you know what I mean? This one right here is Stephen A. Smith. You know what I mean? Shout out to Stephen A. Smith. I got a lot of respect for him, and you know what I mean. What he's done for the African American community. You know what I mean on the media level with ESPN First Take. You know what I mean journalism. But it's like Stephen A. You be doing a lot of hating on my Giants, bro. It gotta stop. They're gonna stop this year. Don't worry. They're gonna make you have to show love. 'Cause I believe he's a Pittsburgh fan. If I'm not mistaken. He's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. But it's like he never, like, this guy never gives the Giants any, like, real credit. You know what I mean? For nothing. Like, even, like, beginning of the year, it's like, damn, it's always hate. It's like, come on, bro. Like, why all the hate? Why all the hate, Stephen A? You know what I'm saying? Trust the process, bro. Trust the process. So the updated summary for the show. Stephen A. Smith has spent the last year criticizing the Giants organization for poor performances, inconsistent quarterback play, and years of instability. He repeatedly questioned whether the franchise had a real direction and often compared the Giants negatively to the top of the NFC contenders, which he definitely did. He always like, what I mean, gonna have us last in the NFC East, even though we have the hardest division. We have the hardest division, but I can say, right, coming into this year out of the division, I can say, what I mean, we got the best defensive line. You know what I mean? Let's start there. You know what I'm saying? I could say we have more weapons in the defensive line than any team in the NFC East. You know what I mean? Let's start there, and possibly in the NFC. You know what I mean? In the Giants, we had that last year, right? But it was all on the play calling. You know what I mean? Like we had, you know what I mean? The defensive coordinator and scheme that we had was just not the right scheme for that team. You know what I'm saying? Like it was definitely not the right scheme. You know what I'm saying? Like the only one that really flourished in that was Burns. That's because Burns, you know what I mean, he's gonna do what he do every year. But I'm just saying, far as for us to have, we couldn't prove we had the defensive line because we didn't have the right plays. You know what I mean, to actually prove it. You know what I mean? So it's like, but I think we're gonna be looking for better yet. We'll prove that we have the better, you know what I mean, offensive line of possible defense in the NFC East. Dallas don't got a better defense than us. You know what I mean? Washington, they don't. The Eagles, not, you know what I mean? But the Eagles would probably be the closest. You know what I mean? Would be the closest. So, now the conversation has shifted because the Giants moved into the Jackson Dart era and John Harbaugh taking over leadership of the team, which is great. Because that's the only way. That's how I see it. The Giants, we needed a coach like this. You got to think the years we won the Super Bowl, we had hard nosed coaches from the Fossil. You know what I'm saying? We always had, what I mean, hard earned coaches, Coughlin, when we actually won. You know what I mean? Bill Parcells, like these was guys that didn't play. You know what I mean? There was no nonsense, type coaches, and we wound up winning. Old school coaches, like bringing in, a new, well, not a new, but like a young coach to the Giants. That's not what we need. You know what I mean? That worked somewhere like in Los Angeles when the Rams did it. You know what I'm saying? And that worked for them because they needed some youth to change. You know what I mean? The scenery and the way they play. But John Harbaugh coming to the Giants, that will help. You know what I'm saying? Because like he's gonna focus on the trenches, which is the offensive line and the defensive line. So we have the pieces. We have the pieces. You know what I mean? We have the pieces, which we will go over that. We have the pieces to definitely do better on both sides of the trenches. Jackson Dart brings mobility, toughness, and stronger deep ball presence. You know what I'm saying? Definitely showed that. He showed that his first year. Of course, he was wilding. You know what I mean? But he's young. You know what I mean? And take a certain, and he's kind of like, he got swag to him. So like, so stuff like that fits in New York, no matter which your race. You know what I mean? So he was just doing a lot of taking off, which is not wrong with taking off, but you got to know when to slide, go out of bounds. Times when he got hit was times where he could have just, went down a little earlier. You know what I'm saying? He could have went down a little earlier because these quarterbacks they getting these they not lasting. You know what I mean? If you want to be out there like they're running and slide when it's time, like when you at the goal line, you gotta go put your shoulder down. That I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? John Harbaugh brings championship credibility and discipline. That's what I'm saying. As far as coaches like Coughlin, Faisal, Bill Parcells, they was all within that. You know what I mean? So this may be, and we had a system on defense and the offensive line and us running it. You know what I mean? We got Cam Scatterbury, we got Tracy, you know what I mean? June Tyrone Tracy, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm happy with my two backs. We'll see who make it, you know what I mean, through training camp, but that's our two backs, and I'm very confident. That's like another thunder and lightning, you know what I mean, combo right there. The Giants roster up here is younger and more explosive. That's what I said, more explosive, quarterback, neighbors. Also got the other young receiver in there. We're gonna get to at Calvin the second. So we got different players. I don't know if neighbors would be able to. They said he may be back like by like the fourth week, possibly. I don't know. It could be before that, but I think we do got a team to where like we don't have to depend on him, but we need him there. You know what I mean? Because like him being there and on the field, you know what I mean, the defense is gonna focus on him too. So that's what everybody else like. We got Likely, you know what I mean, our tight end, so he's gonna help cover while Neighbors is not here. Believe me. You know what I mean? What we have already. You know what I mean? Like Likely is gonna be the difference, and we'll start. You know, like little packages, drop offs, play actions for like Tyrone Tracy. We know Cam Scatterbull could catch and run. So, we'll be good. But Stephen A has continued to question whether the Giants are truly contenders yet, saying fans should slow down until the team prove itself consistently on the field. Yeah, of course. I understand that. But like you can't, just the same way you say that, you're not saying that about the Knicks, right? You okay going up there and telling the fans to slow down. Y'all know how y'all do. Y'all get far somewhere and wind up losing. You never told the Knicks fans slow down. So why you telling the Giant fans slow down? We just as passionate fans. Day one Giant fan, yes, that's a lot of us. That's me. I'm saying, like, for sure. So you can't worry about your Knicks. You know what I'm saying? If y'all win it, then all right, cool. You tell you could then if you say, all right, tell the Giant fans slow down. You could say that if we come out and lose to the Cowboys and all of that, like, we just hype about what our team is looking like and building. That's all it is. Nobody coming out saying, oh, we gonna win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? If you heard that everywhere, then you can say slow down. Like, we excited about what we got going on. Don't hate, congratulate. What? You understand? You understand, Stephen A? Stop hating, man. Please. You know what I'm saying? Please. Let me see. So now our potential. Let me see. Let me get to it. Our potential possible start lineup for 2026 would be, of course, Jaxson Dart. This is after draft for free agency moves. Jaxson Dart, Cam Scatterbull. Also, we got Patrick Ricard. I like Patrick Ricard with us. See, and that's another thing that's showing us the toughness and everything and trying to help our running game more. And Jaxson Dart is us having like a real key fullback again. You know what I mean? When the Giants, when we have fullbacks, you know what I mean? Like our offensive line, you know what I mean, was always, our running game was better. You know what I mean? It makes everything better. Definitely we're having the right quarterback and everything. So it's like you can have a fullback, but if you got a quarterback that can't move around or mobile, or you know what I mean, a good running game, or good lineman, you know what I mean, of course it wouldn't matter. You know what I mean? So that's good. Bringing him over, I can't wait. Malik Neighbors, we know he'll be, you know what I mean, back. He'll be back, but he's not going to start the season. I don't think they will force that. So if they say in the estimate, week 4, week 3 or 4, we got Darnell Mooney that came over. I'm excited about that opportunity. You know what I mean? Darnell Mooney definitely was a major contributor, you know what I mean, throughout, you know what I mean, his career so far. Also the slot receiver we got as possibly our rookie Calvin Austin in third. But if Neighbors is out, it'll be Don Mooney, Austin, or probably look, we still got Slayton, so I don't know. If Slayton is gonna do it, and maybe Austin at the third, depending on what Austin do. You know what I'm saying? And maybe Mooney and Austin, or Mooney and Slayton, and Austin playing the slot. Either or, you know what I mean? But we know Mooney gonna move up to number 1. Like I said, Isaiah Likely, bringing him in from Baltimore, you know what I mean? John Harbaugh, you know what I mean, type of guy, you know what I mean, just came so he knows the system that they will be in, and everything. He knows what he could do. That's why I said, like, having Isaiah Likely is going to cover up until we get Neighbors back. You know what I mean? From that point, he may be putting up Pro Bowl numbers. Left tackle Andrew Thomas, we definitely need him back at the start of the season, and hopefully he can stay healthy, man. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he can stay healthy. I can't even lie. We need him healthy, like, all the way. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's hard for these offensive linemen to, for some reason, stay healthy, but we need Andrew Thomas healthy. John Runyon, Jr., you know what I mean? He was definitely good. He started coming along with John Michael Schwartz. They started coming along last year in the system. And Jermaine Illuminar, yeah, and then our rookie, Francis Maluga. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, the way he's talking is that we got him 10th pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope he could live up, if he could live up to being that pick and first guard taken, you know what I mean, in the draft. So make him like the best one. Um then we won, you know what I mean? And we gave away Dexter. That pick was from Cincinnati. So us giving away Dexter Lawrence, I didn't really want to, but you know what I mean, like the year he had last year, it was real bad. I mean, that one sack, I was not happy because he's some, like I said, I don't know if it was the system too that didn't help him get off, but it shouldn't be the system because if you were one of those players, you're gonna put those type of numbers up all the time. Like Reggie White, people like him, they didn't need a system. And, you know what I'm saying? These type of people, they didn't need a system. You know what I'm saying? They was just them already. But then the defense, edge, Brian Burns definitely came from like he probably had like 12 and a half, 13 sacks last year. So DJ Reader, good bringing him in. Hope and Shelby Harris. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing those guys really do everything they had to do. I believe Shelby Harris, he was with the Jets. You know what I mean? At a point, on the edge again is Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, I like Kayvon Thibodeau. I think he's gonna have a breakout year. Middle linebacker Tremont Edmonds. They like Tremont Edmonds. He helps them with coverage as well. So like we got faster, man. You know what I mean? Also, Artrell Reese. You know what I mean? A rookie that we got with the what was that, fourth pick or fifth pick? Fifth pick. You know what I mean? Artrell Reese. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like it's only Styles, but I'm like I believe Artrell Reese is better for us. You know what I mean? Side to side and attacking the quarterback, like his speed, and he's good in coverage. You know what I mean? So like if he can really take over and hold us down at that, outside linebacker position, that'd be great. Cornerback one, Greg Newsom the second. That was a great pickup as well. Hopefully within the system he able to capitalize. Because remember that all depends on the defensive line. Because if the defensive line is getting at him, it's going to be a lot of wild throws. So all dudes got to do is be where they supposed to be. You know what I mean? Deontay Banks, and hopefully he have a breakout year. I haven't been really liking Deontay Banks. I mean, he get a lot of penalty, a lot of pass interferences and stuff like that. Hopefully, look, but I believed in him. I did believe in him. You know what I'm saying? I like Drew Phillips. They got Drew Phillips as the slot cornerback. Drew Phillips maybe a good step up. I like Drew Phillips in the slot, but I'm just saying this is what's projected to be. You know what I mean? Like I believe in Drew Phillips, and we got another rookie cornerback over there too. Let's see what guys do. But if Deontay Banks earn it, then you know what I mean. Just get out there and prove it. Full safety Tyler Nubin. You know what I mean? Second year. Oh, is that a rookie? No, Javon Holland. That's his second year in the system. So let's see. You know what I mean? It's like I said, they we don't have no old dudes in the secondary. It's not, you know what I mean? No old heads. Special teams kicker Jason Saunders. Let's see what this guy about Jordan Stout and these is two new guys. So you know what I mean. I definitely want to see because we had problems. We had years of problems with our kickers and stuff like that. So we lost a lot of games because of kicking and stuff. So I kick returner, punt returner, the rookie Calvin Austin. Um, the biggest changes after free agency on offense is that Jaxson Dart officially looks like a future QB1. Isaiah likely get a Giants, a dangerous receiving tight end. As I said, he will make up for Neighbors. Darnell Mooney adds speed to the offense. Francis Malaluga upgrades the offensive line immediately. Patrick Ricard brings John Harbaugh's physicality, Baltimore style offense. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're right. He did come from Baltimore. See what I'm saying? So he got his tight end, got his fullback. Defense, Trayvon Edmonds becomes the new leader at linebacker. Told you I feel he's going to do good there. Trell Reese brings elite athleticism to the defense, which we need. Greg Newsom upgrades the secondary. Yes, he does. Javon Holland, Tyler Newton could become elite safety duo. So we looking for. DJ Reader helps replace the loss of Dexter Lawrence. Yes, sir. The most exciting units as far as wide receiver core, Neighbors, Mooney, Calvin Austin and third. Pass rush, Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Artrell Reese. In the young core, Jaxson Dart, Malik Neighbors, Tyler Newton, Drew Phillips, Artrell Reese, Francis Malaluga. So let's just see. I'm definitely excited about the year. I feel I'm gonna go. My next vlog I'm gonna do. We're gonna go through the schedule and stuff like that, and see from there. But I will have a Dallas fan. You know what I mean? We're gonna go over both. You know what I mean? The schedules, because we do start off at Dallas, so it's like, why not? You know what I mean? Get at the old man about them Cowboys, because I think this year is going to be different, even though they've been always get us that game one, and it's just been, you know what I mean? They'll make us question ourselves, you know what I mean? So it's like, I think as long as enough guys is healthy, and you know what I mean? I don't think they know what to look forward to with us. I think we know more what to look forward to with them. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be interesting. Make sure y'all hit the like button, follow the new channel, hit that subscribe button, and the notification bell so you know when things is posted. I probably don't go live yet. You know what I mean? I just do live. I mean, pre-recorded videos until I get more of my Day One Giant fans following. Try to go about this page the right way. My other Giants page, I was putting other content, different stuff like that. So it's like, nah, can't do that. But I know my Giants. I'm a Day One Giant fan. If you're a Day One Giant fan, make sure you hit the subscribe button and write in the comments on what you think. We gotta look. Giant fans versus Stephen A. Smith. We can't let him win. You know what I mean? We gotta have a productive year. Giant fans versus Stephen A. Smith. It is not going down. I don't know Stephen A. I don't know where. Listen, I'm gonna be sending all types of emails and all types of posts your way once we have a great year. And this is for Stephen A.
You people are getting on my nerves.
You understand? Please, let's not do that. All right, Stephen A. Giant fans is gonna win. If you don't think so, this is what I'm gonna tell you in your own words.
How dare you? How dare you say such a thing?
All right, so appreciate y'all. Let's shut Stephen A. Smith up. Giant Nation, Big Blue, Day One Giant fans. Make sure you follow, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Your boy, I'm your host, OG Baz. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm the young OG, man. Brooklyn, New York, Day One fan. See y'all when I see y'all.